come back to have another go at painting this beautiful scene here. I was very happy with the previous painting, but the owner has brought it already, and it was such a strong and lovely painting. I thought I'd like to try this scene again, maybe have one for myself. Can't repeat that painting, it just went ever so well. I put a lot into it. So I've got a different type of painting today. I'm going to use a very bright green ground to shine through the mediums, and I'm going to work it up with acrylics again and see if I go into oils again. We'll see. I'm going to move around the composition a bit as well and change things a bit to get the composition I want here. So I've just taken a few shots with my camera, and I want some things in that are already within this framework, and I want to bring some things in from the outside as well, just for the main colours. Just put on my last shot I took on the camera because I find that quite useful to be able to see the compositions I want, and I do want, in this case, something like this. I'm going to go quite large into these flowers this time. I've set the camera so that it doesn't turn off too quickly. I've just got time then to mark in these. I'm going to bring some of these flowers right up close to me. That's lovely. Iris is coming right through here this time. Truly yellow ones coming in here, and quite large, about a quarter of the way up here. I'm coming up behind here, which is important. Behind these here are these lovely, again they won't stand against the dark, so I think I'm about right there now. Oh, we've got these lovely yellow ones behind there as well. I'm using mechanical things to aid me here, but I'm not bound by it, they're just here to aid me. I'm not stuck with them, they're just going to help me get this how I actually want it. Right, that's my composition, I think, as much as I need it. So I can get the paint sorted now and get started. Now I'm going to work from my mediums and darks again out, but I need to know where my colours are, so let me just already get all these colours in. We'll have that lovely green showing through the background here. I want to use this paint quite thickly, and I don't mind it, the green coming through a bit. That's part of the idea of this, is to let the green hold it together. Unlike the other one where I worked these up onto the white and then brought up colours afterwards. I think this bright green is just too much, but actually using bright colours underneath like this can make a very vibrant painting, depending how much you leave of them showing. It's got some of this laid, and of course it's going to sink back a bit as it dries, but I'm going to be using oils later as well. So let's just get in some of these lovely rich colours straight away so I know where the plants are. Let some of the green just glow through. It's a very different animal to the previous one. Not trying to copy the previous one. Quite fancy that pink one just there. So I'll move things around a bit to where I want them. There we go. Now we'll go down to the next rich, darker colour. In fact, I want to go right down into these rich cadmium, these rich alizarin crimsons. My paint's not too dry, hopefully it's not. Once I get into this I'll be enjoying it more, I expect. It's always a struggle at first on a painting like this. Move things around a bit to hopefully to suit the composition more. And these paints, they dry quickly enough, I'll be able to work more colours over them and really get them going. At the moment that's not easy because the paint is still very wet. I'm painting very in pastel, I'm painting very thick colours on. The paint isn't drying that fast on the canvas yet. While the paint's still wet, I'm just blend in a few lighter tints. The pink amongst the cools against the warms. I can just get these base coats on, that'll be a start. The sun's come out now, so it's really making a difference, and I can see all the colours. Whether I can push for them, it's too early yet to push the colours. I'm just mapping things out really. Here where those colours are going, which one's going where. They're not thick enough, and they've got to go on again later. We'll build up all our tones. Right, any more yellows? Yes, there definitely are. We've got these lovely yellows at the top here as well, which again will sink underneath this. They're not going to stay the same consistency or brightness or intensity by any means. Just want to get these intense colours blocked in underneath and then go for my mediums and darks and really play these. It's tempting to get going on the greens already because there's such lovely reflective colours going on in here, and how one colour comes into another. They reflect off each other, both the blue light from the sky and I was saying to a friend of mine, Scott, that I went to stay with not long ago, he tends to paint in blocks of colour like green grass, blue sky, brown earth, a little bit childlike in that way, when there are so many differences of colour hues going on, working from reflections of one colour into another, and also the blue light itself. Which is reflecting into things and coming down through. There's just so many colours going on in something that we really do need to look at those. Amazing how much you can do with one brush, and this is just the same fill that I'm using the tip to just get these various textures of the leaves, different leaves, by using different marks on the edge of the brush or the flat of the brush, or changing it round to get what I want. It's having enough time as well to work this up, really work it up and find all these colours that I need to be able to do. Getting part way through and only just giving an indication. I really do need to be able to find all of the Right, I've got my dark greens in. Now let's start to get some of the very dark blues into really starting to find some of these differences between the colour hues. If the weather holds, I should have another couple of hours on this yet, which should really make a difference. It's a lovely Prussian blue with this one. Nice dark against these. Well, I think I'm about ready to call it a day on on this one before I go on with the oils, which I hopefully will do. To finish it up today. Well, I'm much happier with that now. I should have to leave it at that for the moment. And it's a little bit of rain on me as well, so I think I've probably done enough. Right, leave that, clean up and get out of here. There we are, that's a good afternoon's work. I've been working for 3, 4, 5 hours on this one so far, and I think I can still finish with the oils and make it a bit stronger yet, but I'm very happy with it even now. That's the acrylic part done then. Well, here I am back for the second day. I'm going to put the oils on now. The oil paints make it much richer and brighter, I hope. But I'm racing here because we've got big lumps of cloud coming and I want to try and get the sunlight in before that cloud disappears. It's our lovely scene and the cloud's just coming over a little bit now, but we'll try and get on and paint while the sun shines, as they say. That's what I like, the lightest colours first, because now, of course, the tones are slightly darker. I may even have to add some darker ones, because last time they were this much greyer and the tones were, of course, much lighter. See if I can get away by putting much lighter tones in here and there. Pure oil paint, I don't want to thin it down at all at the moment. Just want to get these colours on nice and bright and pure. The light's changing constantly. So I have to try and get these highlights in whilst the sun's out, or I'll miss them altogether because the tonal values just totally change. Which is one of the challenges and one of the beauties of painting plein air. There's a little bit pinker, but we're going to put a little bit of very light lemon yellow on for the minute. The lemon yellow, because they are a bit more lemon yellow towards the middles. In fact, they're even deeper in the centre. I've got them. It's lovely light yellow reflecting in the centres here more than I've got. And over here there's actually a bit more pink, so I'm going to put in a minute. See, the sun's out, I can really see the shadows as well now, so I've really got to, I'm talking about that rose, let's go even stronger onto these petals here. Just see what's happening over here. Not far off there actually. You can see already I'm taking these tones right up. Smaller petals, and see where else it's going red. Over here there's little bits of this pink coming in. I need to place in the colours that are around here as well, because they're going to affect one another, and it's no good just painting one flower without the effects of the other flowers that are around. So Important to try and find these correct colours one to another that are happening within here to make them shimmer and bounce as the light is here. Little bits of colour that are so important, so I'm just trying to work on every single flower if I can to get those right. It's layer of colour and layer of colour at the moment. Trying to break in, these oil paints are so old that I've got to break into them a little bit to try and get the colours on the brush. So I'm only using a soft brush here. Really try and catch these lights that are happening throughout this work. Quite a bit darker in there than I've got at the moment. Trying to get these exact colours is not easy. And then this beautiful dark, which I haven't got in here yet, very, very dark Prussian that's going on underneath some of these petals and into here. So I've got to use that plus the purple yet. To really get these darks going, which I haven't got yet amongst the... That's why I need the sunlight right now to try and find these lovely deep colours and make this stand out. See if I can start to find these wonderful darks now. Bring these plants out as the other painting was. The other painting really works. I want this one to be the same if we can, to really work as well. Detail, really I just want an impression of them, but I've got to try and hit these shadows a bit more and get the right colours working one to another here. And to go against this purple I'm going to put some very deep blue, Prussian blue to try and make the purple look more purple and the shadows look a bit darker into the cool colours. First really. The idea with these lights and these leaves come, I've got to work out with the crisscross to get the effects of them. And they need to be a deeper, much warmer green as well. I just don't know how long I've got with the sun as it goes on. Stuffed with some pretty big clouds coming up, so I do need to get things established much more quickly now. Very strong light and darks denote a very hot day. Cooler day we get much closer shadows and tones. So it's a bit like watercolour in a way, the way I'm using this now. And the fact that I'm doing darks over lights, normally to work that way in watercolour, but we can put lights over darks with this, which I have been doing and will do again. I know that in the times I'm working, but right now it's darks over lights. Still working out my darkest colours before I go back to my real lightest vibrant colours. Not quite finished there yet. These colours, even these oils are sinking a bit with the sunshine and into the acrylics, so I'm having to readjust as I go along. I'm just picking out some of these individual leaves, getting the feeling of them. It isn't just tall stems, that there are all of these leaf shapes going on behind here as well. Once I've got these darks, I can very soon start to map in the lighter colours that are happening out and around and down here. So that's, I think, just about all my dark colours in. Now I need to go back in and start looking at these lighter colours in the background. It's the thing with oils is that they don't dry out on your palette while you're waiting most of the time. That is black much, but at this stage, when you're well into a painting, you can afford to darken your darks by putting in some black to make the darks look actually a bit more colourful and lighter as you're pulling out these darks that are in there, which in fact will look a lot more colourful with the black against them. Right, sun's coming out again, so let's look back at the colours. Right, look at these various greens and bluey greens, which I haven't really been getting yet. Some lovely yellow greens down here. Using burned umber now to put back some of the warms. There's just so many cools. I feel I need to come into these warms a bit more again, liven them up. Balance it out. Too many cools and need a few more warms. And this made a hell of a difference to the painting. It really did. So we're getting towards the end of the painting now. Just picking out some more of these darks and tonal structures up here. Flowers stand out and the colours are really giving the best chance. I feel like we're almost there. The sun's just come out again. It's due to go behind a cloud in just a moment again, but even these few minutes give me a very good chance to get on with things. Try and get some of the right opposites in the colour circle and so on going. Other things in the garden, because now as the sun's out and I've got just a few minutes left to finish. Quite difficult to lay on a light colour with the top now at this late stage. Just a little round number 4, just to play with all of these details. Now I'm just putting some much deeper viridian green in to play against the other greens I've got. Green is the opposite to the red, so if I put some of this here it should help to bring this flower out. Take some of this lovely warmer green and we'll add some yellow ochre to it. It's a light emerald, but I want a very warm green down in here amongst these cooler leaves to really bring those out. And play these cool against the warms. Quite a lot of yellow ochre. I'd even put some orange in if I wanted to make it even warmer. We'll just warm up some of them. amongst here just to play the cools against them, make the sun shine across. Okay, now I'm just working on the grasses and the leaves a little bit closer up here, just to get the feeling of warms against the cools here and the different shades. And around here as well, I suspect we need to do something. The sunlight is now shining across these leaves nicely as they come up through here in little facets. So the sun's come right round from behind me to about 10 o'clock from me now, and I've had to bring the canvas round just so you can see what's going on at the last stages of this painting as I try and pick out these last highlights. The salient point, in other words, of the picture now, just trying to find them, is that when I look up I see are most important. I think when we stand back that this now will be about there, you know. Not only one colour playing against another, but one mark playing against each other, so one is vertical, one is across, and so on. So I'm just trying to find these lumps of bushes and the edges of these plants, blocks of plants, so that they're not just incoherent things floating around. I think I'm about there, to be honest. Got to come round the canvas to see behind it now. That's what I'm doing. And I think that's it. It's just the odd little touch as I look at the whole thing. It looks a pretty complete painting to me. Like anything glaring now. Just a little more warmth up in these lines of up here. I'm hoping this might be a good one to try in the ferns next year. Now finally, just a bit more black, I think, at the very bottom here where I want a bit more depth. Just to get the eye underneath there a bit more. So there we are. Better sign it. I think I'll sign it down here. Very difficult one to sign. There, that helps give it that bit more texture. And I think one or two of these plants here might just need it too. Well, there we go then. Second one finished, and I am reasonably pleased with that actually. I think it's come out almost as well as the other one. It has its own charm. There we are then, number 2. Now I've got that one done and finished. Now it's time to watch this over the winter months.